Use MLA, just because that's what you should be using with all your other classes. So for citing sources, MLA is probably the one that you're going to learn first. Just be aware later in life you're not going to use it for science. Is it okay if we don't have everything done for science on the 30th? That's fine. Give yourself another week if you need it. I understand everyone's kind of doing different things. I'm trying to go easy on math this week. Really don't have much. I'm going to do, I think, like 6 problems with you today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 problems I'd like to do with you today. Then honestly, your test for math is already unlocked. You can start taking that whenever. And then I'd like to go over the next chapter in math this week. Well, that doesn't sound right. The next chapter in math is on measurement and conversions, which is really just one topic to me. And I will make everything in that chapter into one topic, and we will do that one topic. It's a little complicated to understand first, but once you get going with it, it's actually really easy, and it will work every time for any conversion you need to make. So I might as well just teach you how to do it that way. Or when it comes to conversions, just type into Google these days as well. But we are going to look at 6 problems today. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 problems today. I'm just going to be around for questions if you need more questions or practice on anything for tomorrow. And then test is technically Thursday, but it is unlocked already, so you can go in there and take it now if you wanted. I would like to get your test by Monday to be done. I don't know if that's what I put the actual due date is for, but that's what I'm hoping to get done for Monday, so I can look at it and give you some feedback on that. And then Friday, I have to do dimensional analysis, which we're just going to discuss it first. But through dimensional analysis, you can do everything in the next chapter in math. So we might as well just learn dimensional analysis and go from there. So with that, let's go ahead and start. You can follow along with our word problems. I typed them up for you. I don't think I numbered them, but let's start with number 1, which is Sam's taking a survey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the word problem now. I'm going to ask you to take about 2-3 minutes, see what you can do with it, see if you can get an answer for it, and then I will go over it and you can check your work for it. So it says Sam takes a survey asking 300 people to reveal their blood type. How many respondents are predicted to have B negative blood if 2% of the population has B negative blood? So take a minute, see if you can figure that out, pick out the important information, and get that and get an answer. And I'll give you a couple minutes to see what you guys can come up with there. And yeah, I'm on. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello? It says my volume's working. Pretty sure it's working. Might want to check your volume, Catherine. I don't know if you can hear me. Mm-hmm. All right. So hopefully you're thinking Sam takes a survey asking 300 people, and your camera's working too. Yeah, my camera's working. Yeah, you want to see the trippy screen? I can show you my screen. Check out my screen. See, it goes all trippy. Oh, look at that. It's crazy. That's my embedder program. So anyways, after I distract you a bit, Sam takes a survey. She's asking 300 people. So she surveyed 300 people. So she asked 300 people. I'm just collecting the information. She should probably do. How many respondents are predicted to have B negative blood? So I want to know how many out of that 300 have B negative blood. That's my question. How many have B negative blood? And it is told that 2% of the population has it. So 2% have B negative blood. Yes, I am aware. Hopefully this doesn't take long. If I don't finish this today, I'll finish it tomorrow. But again, I'm trying to keep it fairly easy on math this week. So just keep in mind, if 2 o'clock comes and you need to leave, just leave. So ask 300 people, how many have B negative blood is our question, and we know that 2% have B negative blood. So again, just further taking this out of context and fitting it to what we know. This is asking, we want to know what is 2% of our population. Our population here is actually a sample size of 300. So what is 2% of 300? And this you should be pretty familiar with. You probably should be able to do that. I'm not sure why you can't hear me, Evie. You should check the sound on yours, because Eli's saying he can hear me. I'm guessing you fixed that. Right, so it gets to something like this. This is your goal, is to reason through it to get to here. And then once you do that, just remember our templates. Percent over 100 is over of. Right, so here we have what is. This is our question. So I don't know the is number. So if I had the percent over 100 equals is over of, my is number here is my unknown. I know I have a 2%, so my percent is 2. And I know of 100, my of number is 300 here. 300. And then you can just solve. Using your proportions or using whatever, right? You know, 100 times 3 is going to be 300, so 2 times 3 is going to get 6, so x equals 6. You can do it that way, or you can do your cross multiplying, right? 2 times 300 is 600, x times 100 is 100x, divide by 100, divide by 100, and 6 equals x. And those cancel. Right, those will cancel too. So you get 6 equals x. Any questions on how to do this? And then obviously this is a word problem, so I have units, so it's 6 people. So B negative blood is fairly rare in this population, apparently. I don't know what the actual percentages are for blood types, but B negative is fairly rare. Only 6 people out of the 300 have it. The other way of looking at this is this 2%. That means 2 out of 100 people have it. So for every 100 people, 2 of them are B negative. It's another way to look at that percent. With that, you can probably reason through, well, if there's 300 people, then there's 3 times this, which gives you that 6. So different ways to do it, but there's one. Any questions on that one? With that, I'm going to let you work on the second one, which is that. And I'm going to hide that as well. So take another minute, maybe two, and work on this problem, and then we'll go over that. So how many people in a population of 480 do you expect to have AB blood if 4% have AB blood? So very similar to what we just did. This on the homework. This is the homework. I mean, I put it up as your assignment, but I really wasn't planning on giving you homework. I just wanted to get through them all. So just some practice with word problems, because your test is going to have some word problems on it, and those are probably the most difficult of all the problems. So we got some different word problems, and if I can get through 6 today, I'll be happy. Less than, I guess I'll deal with it. But give it a shot and try it out right now. Alright, so our population here is 480 people. I know 4% have AB blood. And I want to know how many is that. So again, just kind of pulling out some context, rewriting things so they collecting information, just so you know what's going on. Here, this is also going to be very similar. It's going to be asking, what is 4% of 480, right? I want to know what 4% of 480 people are. So, again, is it, I guess I did it as percent over 100 equals is over of. What is, don't know my is number, 4%, percents go there, of 480. 480 goes there, and 100 will always go below your percent because it's part of percents. You do one project instead of two. Watch a movie. Come on. That was an easy one. What did I give you for projects in science? I don't even remember. I'll have to look it up. I mean, moon phases, they were pretty easy, I thought. You can take another week if you need another week later. That's the other thing. I mean, I'm pushing the due date back for all my classes on that. These times are just weird. So, well, as I look for our science assignments, you should be able to solve that doing cross products, or if you know what times 100 equals 480, which you probably don't. Well, I mean, 4.8, and then do 4 times 4.8, but let's see, science 6, 7 assignments. Yeah, there was a lot. let's see, I'll tell you what, we'll do one more math problem today and then we'll talk some science. Let's see if I can make science a little easier for you. So anyways, you're going to be doing 4 times 480, which is something. Do I have my calculator back yet? Yeah, do it over here. 4 times 480 gives you 1920 equals 100x, divide by 100, divide by 100, you get 19.20 equals x. So you're looking at about 19 people are expected to. Again, you can't have a fraction of a person, so I'm going to round that down. But it might be 19-20 people have that. I mean, you might get a statistical anomaly in your population too, and that might be like 47%. But that's that. Over the next couple days, by the end of the week, I'd like this page done. Dude, how much is a page? It's I think I asked for like a 1-page double-spaced paper. I didn't tell you it was double-spaced. Anytime I ask you to write a report, double-space it. So you get your heading in there, there's a couple lines there, you get a title, there's a line, and you get that. I mean, I guess it could be 1 paragraph as long as it's a nice paragraph, but typing a page is not too difficult, I hope. No, do 2 science projects. Because I'm already debating whether to make you do 1 or 2 next time, because I'm going to run out of time if we do it. So I'm debating already. So get the 2 in now. Yeah, Kelsey, we'll work on this tomorrow too. Kind of. It's people, so you can't have 0.2 of a person. So I rounded it, but yeah. The answer is technically 19.2, just it's not rounded. Alright, let's do one more problem in math, and then I'll give you time to work on science and talk science here. I want to do the tax, or the tip one. Whatever problem that is. And then I'll do the other 3 tomorrow. That's sales tax. I want that one. I'm going to look at this one now. Give this one a shot. Take a minute to see if you can figure this one out. We didn't talk specifically about the language it's in, but you should know how to do it. And this is the kind of problem that you're going to see in life. I mean, when you go to a restaurant, at least nowadays it might change by the time you get older and stuff like that, but as of right now, it's kind of expected that you leave a 20% tip on your meal at restaurants that are deemed tippable restaurants. Like, you're not going to go to Taco Bell and leave a 20% tip. But if you go to a nice restaurant or something, you're probably going to want to leave a 20% tip. So how do you actually figure out your tip? So here, Karen has a meal for $35. She wants to leave a 20% tip. I want to know how much is the tip. So a couple questions here. Did I delete that layer? A couple questions here. I want to know how much is the tip, and then I want to know how much the whole meal costs with the tip. Meal plus the tip. So you know the meal is $35. That's going to be $35 plus however much the tip is here to get that. So go ahead and give that a shot. See what you guys can come up with there. All right, so we know our meal is $35. We know our tip is 20%. So we're going to do this through reasoning, which I showed you a while ago, I think last week at some point, early last week. Right, so we're going to do this through reasoning. There are other ways to do this, but using reasoning is what you're probably going to want to do in real life. And here we have a $35 tip, and we want to know what 20% of it is. So I'm sorry, $35 meal, and we want to know what 20% is. So here we want to figure out what is 20% of 35. And you can go right ahead and you can sit there and you can put that into is over of equals percent over 100, and you can solve it that way. That's one way to do it, but that probably is not the way you want to do it in an actual restaurant. You probably don't want to sit there and get out your calculator. You probably don't want to sit there and write a whole problem out on a napkin or something in front of people just to figure out tip. Is the docs you sent not due until tomorrow? Anything I send this week really get done by Friday. So it's really not due until Friday. It's not going in until Friday. So there's that. And that's going to be true for pretty much everything I assign you from here on out. Make things due at the end of the week. That way if things happen and whatnot, you have time to ask questions or do it. I mean, not everybody can be here listening to me right now. But yeah, I'm not going to, the only thing new this week is going to be dimensional analysis, and I plan on doing it Friday. And then next week is probably all going to be based on dimensional analysis, which really isn't difficult once you get what's going on. It takes a couple times to get what's going on, but once you get what's happening, it's pretty simple. And it will solve anything in the next chapter, so I'm just going to teach you how to do it that way. Plus, we've already gone over half of the next chapter anyways. But anyways, we're reasoning through this. I want to know what this is. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to find 10% first, and that's the easiest way to do this. I'm going to find 10% of 35. And I know 10% is, I just move a decimal point once over. So I know 10% of 35 is 350. And I know 20% is 10% plus 10% equals 20%. So I know two of these, or plus another 350, is going to give me 20%. So in that case, 350 plus 350 gives me $7. And I'm going to leave a $7 tip. So my tip here is $7. And that's how you're probably going to do it. You're going to move your decimal point over one and double it. So if your bill was $49.56 and you're leaving a 20% tip, you move your decimal point over one and you get that 49 or 4.956, and then you're going to multiply it by 2, or you're going to double it. Chances are you're just going to round though, because I mean it's kind of rude to leave change as tip as well. So you're going to round this to $5, and then you're going to double it. So your tip here would be about $10. And again, just move a decimal point and double it. Here, move a decimal point and double it to get that 20%. So I wanted to show you that just because that's probably what you're going to do in real life. Finding tips could be a little easier for you. Again, you could also sit there and do the is over of equals percent over 100. Okay, so with that, we are going to clear everything. And we can talk some science. So let's look at science. Science is taking a while. Science is taking me a while too, so don't think you're in this alone. Our goal is finish this chapter and then one more chapter. That is my goal. So after this chapter, you'll have one more chapter to do. In that next chapter, I am probably only going to ask you to do one project. And that's why I don't want you doing just one this time and then two next time. Yeah, we'll finish the math page tomorrow. But hopefully I wanted to give you some time to prep for Miss Holden's class and things like that. So that's your goal. For math this week, let's take it a little easier. We're going to review tomorrow. You have your test, which is actually unlocked now. And I would like by Monday, if you can. And then Friday, I would like to do dimensional analysis, which you're not going to have an assignment on. You're not going to have homework to do right away. I'm just going to explain the process of dimensional analysis and how to set things up with it and what kind of problems you can solve with it. And then next week, we're going to spend it all on dimensional analysis in math. And again, once this clicks, and it takes a while for it to click. It does. It takes some practice going into it. Once it clicks, it's pretty easy. You should know how to solve any conversion problem that the world throws at you. So with that, for science, what are your assignments? I mean, if you want my opinion on things, first off, your quizzes, key terms, section assessments. I've been slowly getting those from you. I know they're not in the grade book yet. In fact, I don't think anything's unlocked in science in the grade book. I'm behind on grading those. But I am getting those, so please keep those coming. I don't think there's anything strange in the do this list. I don't think I gave you any labs to do at home or anything. And then your projects. And again, I'm flexible about your delivery method. So for like 2, when it says make a website, if you want to turn that into a slideshow, go right ahead. It might be easier for you if you're not comfortable with websites. I just put slideshow for number 1. And if you want to turn number 1 into a website, that's fine too. But number 1 was Newton's laws. You can make a slideshow for it, including pictures and explanations. Law 2 was not covered. However, if you want to ask me to explain it, it's not hard. It's a formula. I did that for Eli. But I mean, this is set up to be a slideshow. So you have like a slide. You have his first law. You explain it. And then you have like an image of his first law, which is the law of inertia. Then you have another slide, which is his second law, which is F equals ma. And then you have an image, explain it. And then you have another slide for his third law. Get an image. This is your reaction / action forces, action-reaction forces, right? This is your rocket ship going up into space. And then explain it, and then you get like a title page. It doesn't have to be too in-depth. Yeah, if you want the video I made, Eli, I can send that to you as well. But that's the first project. That's Newton's laws are kind of interesting. 2 is a timeline. I mean, it doesn't have to be like, hey, here's a line. It can be like, pick 10 events that happened. Like, I don't know, you had Sputnik, right? Sputnik launches, and then you have the date, and then you have the event, and then maybe a picture. After that, I don't know, go to it. But you have 10 of these. Just do 10 of them. 10 events, milestones for the space race. If you even want to throw in some Cold War things in there, because they're all about it too, you can go ahead and do that. Biography, if you're into typing. Project 3 is the bio. If you're into writing things, make sure it's double spaced. So it's really just going to be a page, single space, and you can choose from Galileo or Newton, and there's enough information on each of those. And number 4 is spending time with your family watching a movie, and then write a page about how these events affected the world. So that's that. And yeah, I'll end it now so you guys can get ready for Miss Holden's class. Again, be working on it. That's all I can ask in these times, is just be working on it. Make sure you're not putting it off. Slowly start getting it done, turned into me. Test is unlocked for that. I put that up today. And the key term quiz is also unlocked. I put that up today. But I know there is a lot of videos in there for the chapter. So can we do a Kahoot? Sure, Evie, you can do a Kahoot. I don't have the best way of getting your questions through Kahoot, so if you don't mind typing your questions on another document and sharing them with me, that would be awesome. But if you want to do it that way, you can. You should probably talk to someone else in the class and try to play it with them. I don't know how well you can do that without having the double screens. I've never done Kahoot in a different way. So if you want to try it, go for it. Just make sure I can see your questions somehow, because you can't just share the Kahoot with me the way that you probably think. Like documents and stuff, there's no share button for that. So with that, any other questions, email me. Again, tomorrow in math, I'm going to go over like 3 problems, and then I'll let you have the time for science. Thursday, I'm not going to live stream. Get your test done by Monday. Friday, we're going to talk about dimensional analysis, and we're probably going to talk all next week about dimensional analysis until it starts making sense. But once it makes sense, it's actually really easy. So with that, I will end it. Have a good day. Hopefully you enjoyed reading yesterday, and I will talk with you tomorrow. Bye.